Hey guys, welcome to your Moon in Cancer reading. We're going to be taking a look at your energy being the energy of the collective as it is expressing itself while the moon is transiting the sign of Cancer. So in other words, we're going to be taking a look at the moon as it's transiting the sign in Cancer from March 1st, yay March, to March 4th. No, just kidding, March 3rd. So yeah, let me have a seat, God bless. All right, that's the chair. You guys know how it is. Also, if you'd like to work with me more personally, you know exactly where to find me. I say this all the time. My Etsy shop is there and we do all types of healing work, counseling, all the good stuff, readings, mentoring. So anyway, so nice to see you guys again and such a pleasure to work with you. And keep an eye out for the astro reels. I know you say that are coming, and I'm so sorry to the last few signs. God bless you. We're going to be starting with Capricorn, I believe, to make it fair this time. So that'll be coming out soon. And also keep an eye out for the March monthly reading. Super excited. My birthday month. Yay! If you know, you know. Okay. So guys, speaking of none of the above, what a crazy time we've been in, right? So I figured, let's dive. Let's see what's going on. I said dive, not die. I don't know. This mic can't get any closer to my mouth, but if some of you are on the edge already, you're going to hear what you want to hear. All right. Look, I was going to say that I chose to work with these cards. These are called the Divine Masculine cards. I was like, I chose to work with these guys, literally, because I feel like we need some masculine. And look what is at the bottom of the deck, the Emperor. So let me pull my chair in because you know it's raining men. Just kidding. It's actually not. So, all right, let's see. What do these energies want to talk to us about? Okay, so what I'm seeing here, I have to be honest, I'm seeing a lot of accolades for a lot of us. Yay, right? For a lot of you guys, I'm seeing accolades. Now, why I'm seeing accolades shining up from these different men, it feels as though these energies are representing you being able to shift yourself throughout this past season. You know that we were just in Aquarius season. We're coming into Pisces season. Gosh, I don't know why I'm blanking. I think we're already in Pisces season. Excuse me, my mistake. But yeah, are we? Yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. But remember, Aquarius is all about shape-shifting. It's all about shape-shifting. And what did I tell you? If you were following this channel, God bless you and thank you so much. Back in November, December, and January, what were the guides saying? All during Capricorn season, all they kept saying is like, hey guys, make sure you sow your seeds deeply because when the winds and the rains come during Aquarius season, it's going to blow away everything that is not battened down, that is not so deeply. So any systems, any new habits that you had probably have gotten into, any energetic structures that you were erecting for yourself to be made manifest at a later time, if you were not feeding those with conscious repetitive action, with intention and all of that, then chances are it fell pretty quickly when Aquarius season rolled around, because astrologically it was a time of rebellion. It's a time of shock. It's a time of shifting and shaking. And so that's what it was. And the guides were also telling us to remember that one of the best things that we can do, period, is to practice ideological flexibility. Sorry, I was just hearing somebody speaking something back to me, and so hold on. See, I can hear you guys, so hold on. Right? And not in a negative way, just, I'm in the middle of doing this, so hold on. Let's put all your thoughts to the side for a second, please. Right? So, okay, I'm just going to bring it in just in case it's for somebody. I'm here. Wow, who is this for? Good Lord. Okay, it's infidelity. What? I don't know what that's about, but call me if you need. God bless. God bless. I don't know. Okay. And anyway, so yeah, ideological flexibility. Why? Because when you're able to be ideologically flexible, it means that you are not, energetically speaking, it means that you're not trapping yourself within the energetic, within energetic structure. So you get into an energetic structure, i.e. a thought, a belief system, blah, blah, blah. And if it's too strong, you'll get stuck in it. So when you have ideological flexibility, you are working to maintain a malleable energetic structure in your field. All right. And notice that it's malleable. It's allowing you to have the flexibility that you need. So if you need to change your mindset or pivot or shapeshift, as you have been needing to do, or dare I say it, learn something new, then you won't trap yourself in. They're also saying emotional flexibility is important as well. Some of you guys have yourselves by a chokehold because of the way that you've been conditioned. And if you move to try something new or change anything in your mental structure or your ideology, you bring in that viceroy that around your neck of guilt, of shame, of whatever, because it's almost like a trapping to keep you stuck where you are. So just remember, flexibility is important, balance is important. The guides have also been talking about going back to virtues, and we're talking those basic virtues that actually take lifetimes for souls to kind of master. But anyway, whatever, we're down here. Generosity, kindness, right? Discipline is another one. These things, and don't just be like, wow, I learned generosity because I'm giving all my stuff away. No, you may be practicing generosity down here, but remember that what is generous in this circumstance may not be in this one, and it may be by design to teach you that you need to learn how to be balanced and understand on a case-by-case basis what you can deem is generosity towards others and when it's important to be generous to yourself, right? And the last thing I want to bring up, summarizing, since we're looking at some things, two things, is that they've been talking about the vices, not devices, but also devices, because we are in the land of AI at this point, but the vices. Some may call it the 7 deadly sins, and you can have whatever emotional reaction you have to those words because you may have religious programming in your field, but it doesn't matter. The point is, watch yourself to see which of those, if not all, are operating in your daily life in the way that you see your world. So this is calling for some deep dive stuff. And the last thing that the guides kind of popped in at the end there is they're bringing up MAT, M-A-A-T, M-A'-A-T, right? Principles of balance, right? So I'm kind of looking into that myself, but they want all of us to kind of start looking at that. It's just so many things. Anyway, so it's not a lot. We can handle it. We're big boys and girls, right? So anyway, I don't want to say I hate to say this because I know that I'm channeling and I don't want to poo-poo on whatever is coming through, but I just wanted to say we're looking for mastery on this channel. And the minute I looked down here and something about this and this right here just communicated these two. So if you're willing to make the journey, if you're willing to do the deep diving, if you're willing to be emotionally open to change, if you're willing to be flexible enough to see what's going on and to switch in and out as necessary, and if you're willing to walk with a higher perspective, a higher power, a higher ability, a higher happenstance, whatever you want to say, because at the end of the day, this is all semantics. Right? If you're willing to grow, then this is what we're going for. So it's kind of, I don't know, we're doing our best. Thanks, Spirit. So hopefully whoever that, now that I'm free here, because I just had to finish that, whoever that message was for with infidelity, sometimes I don't know if it's a guide, one of your guides coming through and guides coming through. If it is, then hey, we're going to take it, which is why I decided to bring it through, because sometimes you never know. Sometimes it's one of your subconscious is just talking, so sometimes it's mine. All right, so let's see what's going on here as well. Yeah, speaking of the saboteur. All right, Spirit says they've been giving you, look at the bottom here, see, trickster. Spirit says they've been giving, the guides, remember the guides said a few days ago that tests are going to be upon us soon, okay? And that's great. So remember, tests are, speaking of tests, here we are at the teacher. Tests are just assessments. They're just there to let you know and your team know, right, where you could use a little bit more improvement. So the guides were just saying that they've been giving you a lot of time alone. A lot of you have been, what is that? A lot of you have been being given, sorry, which card is it? It's one of those two. Okay, we'll maybe visionary. Okay. They've been giving a lot of you time to really see yourself. And I'm very curious how you have been doing. In other words, what have you been seeing? Let's look at the past 3 months. Have you been seeing demons? Have you been seeing angels? Have you been seeing tricksters? Have you been seeing friends? Have you been seeing family? Have you been seeing bad people? What have you been seeing? And when I say it like that, I mean, what characteristics have you been attributing to the people in your life? Did somebody steal something from you? Did someone abandon you? Did someone make you feel ABC? Right? So these are all things that we want to look at, because within each person that's in our life is a reflection of what's going on with us. Because you will not be able to see the good qualities of somebody if you're so stuck in a certain level of programming that it literally programs you to see the world in a certain way. If you grew up being robbed and living in a place where you constantly had to defend your property or your sense of self or whatnot, guess what you're going to see when you go out into the wider world? Thieves. And so someone can be coming and may literally just borrow your pencil for a quick second to write something down, and you see it being gone, and you see it in that person's hand, and you're ready to kill them because you think they've stolen it. And they're like, no, actually, I just borrowed it for a few seconds and my mistake. And you know, I'm sorry. Then I went home with it and I forgot to, my mistake. I know I should have asked. It was just really quick. You would totally not believe them. And meanwhile, for them, maybe they grew up in a household where there were other things that they were programmed to be thinking about, but the defense of property and the hoarding of property and the security of property was not one of those things, right? So that's why they can't see what it is that you're stressed about. They didn't think that would even be an issue, because it's not for them. I'll leave you with one really strong example again of this: you see only what you have. If you spot it, you got it, right? Your conditioning is very important to look at, because that's how you will see the world. We all know when we were kids, we were all very used to the way our own house works. But then if you go over to somebody else's house, your friend's house or something, you just see it's like a totally different world. You're like, what? Better or worse, right? So, I love how they said better or worse, because they're saying that for a lot of you guys, you will have noticed that as well when you get married. When you get married, you start seeing how the person that you have married was raised differently. Things that are important to you are not a big deal to them, and vice versa. So let's say that you are a teenager and you enjoy studying, you enjoy working, and sometimes you just want to have your door closed and not be bothered for long stretches of time because you're focused on doing something, accomplishing something, or enjoying something. Whereas some of your family members are like, oh, why do you always have to be behind closed doors? Why are you always like a black sheep, a separatist? Can't you just, you're not a team player, like we just want to hang out with you, what are you doing in your room? But then when you go over to a friend's house and you see that friend is able to do that, and then you notice that friend's parents may work from home, or they may have their own workshops in the garage, or they have their friends over, whatever, and they are able to cultivate time alone. They've set boundaries, so your friend doesn't have to ask his or her parents to be left alone. They don't have to explain to the rest of the family why they are choosing to spend 4 hours at a time or most of the day in their room, and they want to eat their dinner in their room that night because they're focused on producing. And then when they do meet up with their family members, the family members are asking them, hey, how's that project going? Because they respect that person's time and their solitude and their boundaries. And then you're just like, oh, mind blown. Like, is this a thing? What's a major point of consternation in my family is like nothing to you guys. It's not a problem. I wish I were here. Right? And so Spirit is just giving you those ideas to remind you that if you spot it, you got it. If you're finding fault in others, you've got it. Now, here's the thing. You know this. We say this all the time. It's like every reading. Just because you at a conscious mind perspective, conscious mind level, cannot see how you are what you're looking at in disgust does not mean that you do not have that within you. You're only seeing what you have within you that you do not recognize in this lifetime because the veil is thick and you were that in a few other lifetimes, but today, now you're not because your personality has changed for this journey, but you still have it. It's resonance. It's resonating within you enough for you to have an emotional reaction. And on top of that, the emotional reaction isn't like, wow, I love this about this person. It's like, oh, I detest it. Okay, so Spirit has been showing a lot of us, myself included, ouchies, these things about ourselves. And no wonder they put visionary saboteur. So this comes back to my question, what have you been seeing in other people? And have you been able to identify those same vibrational patterns within yourself? Okay, I do see that some of you have tried to get out of doing this inner work. I'm seeing they're so funny. I literally see some of you have tried to exit stage left and they're like, boom, nope. So maybe there were times when you started kind of checking out, you stopped wondering, you've stopped, maybe you started dissociating more. Whatever this is, Spirit was like, no, we want you to focus on this. So I don't think that you may have gotten very far. So maybe about 3 days most out of things. They were showing you also ways that you got trapped and tricked. So in some situations, maybe you feel like, oh, I failed or whatnot, or I could have done better and this and that. But what if those situations were not necessarily designed in a way that Spirit knew, or your higher self knew that you could transcend those? Maybe you were designed to face something that you were not going to be able to just easily solve, right? Then the question is, what did you do about it? Did you hurt yourself like, oh, I'm so stupid, what's wrong with me? This is exactly what my parents did. I thought I would do a better job than this, or some of you may have seen, oh, this is exactly what I'm exactly like my family. There's all sorts of stuff that you're being shown. But the point here is, were you able to show yourself love in this situation? Right? Judgments are coming in heavily right now. And when I say judgments, I really mean judgment, like you guys judging people and judging self. For a minute there, though, I do note that we did get a little karmic judgments energy going on here. Now, Spirit is also showing us, or has also been showing us, and maybe still now under this moon, obviously, why not? It's a water moon. Things come up, right? But Spirit has also been showing us the places within where we are just in dire fear. See how this cute little inner child is here? Super cute. It's like Spirit is showing this little child something, and here's a little child like covering her eyes. Maybe there are some things that you've witnessed in the world, things in your life. There are things that your inner child has just been so terrified of facing. Maybe you realize that there are areas in your life where you've been burying your sand. Maybe you have a lot of medical expenses. Maybe you have conversations that you need to have with your significant other, but you need the courage to do it. Whatever this is, Spirit has been showing you where you have been, I want to say slacking off, but I'm saying slacking off to refer to the energetic structure that I'm seeing. It's slacking off, and it looks like it's like, I can't make the noise, like that. Not slacking off like, oh, you're lazy, not like that. So like, let's say if something's like caved in, it's slack, right? I see the guides like pushing it up to erect that structure again, to bolster it, to make it stronger, right? So you've been being shown these places where you have been, they're saying weeping again with respect to the energetic structures, weeping in the sense of weep holes. A weep hole is basically a hole in the side of a structure that allows the water to run out, right? So we don't want leaks in the energy field. We want firm structures that are malleable, so you can go in and out as necessary. But we want, and we also want, solid structures. We want what's the word, secure spaces, we don't need energetic leaks and tears and rips and portals and all of that. As I said, portals, I see this like a portal with him. Some of you have been, some of you have been seeing things about yourself like, okay, like I'm doing the work, but I need to change maybe some of how I operate. There are certain things, I see the saboteur coming in. So some of you may be doing your work, whatever that work is, raising your children, doing your mission work, whatever it is, stuff at work. So you've been seeing how your belief systems, how your actions, and again, all related to your energetic structures, have been, the intention is there to do it, but maybe the methods and the modes that you've been using are not built on the highest vibrations. It could still be because there are a lot of energies of the saboteur. It could be because you still have a lot of conditioning and trauma and whatnot. So as Spirit has been helping you clear these things out, I see low self-worth as well. Some of you may even have been saying, oh, I can't do what I want to do because I don't have the money. Spirit is rolling their eyes. I roll, just the left eye is rolling. Why is it the left eye? That's for somebody, okay? But Spirit, and the reason why they're laughing at that is because money is just energy. It's no more or no less than this cup. You just believe that you just attribute different qualities to this glass than you would to money. And so you perceive of things differently. And so you're going to create the ability for one to be more difficult to make and manifest than another. And on top of that, you're holding those light forms, the forms that you impose upon the light. They're saying you're holding those light forms as blockage to you doing what you need to do. And that's why they're laughing, because you're the one directing everything. It's like they're being nothing but light. It's just pure light. There's no form. There's no card. There's no table. There's no nothing. And then you're like, I will make form here and then form here. And I'll make this be a big boulder in the way to my dreams. Ding! And I'll make this be something easy that I can drink out of. Ding! And it's just, so it's like, why even have that? It's just the same substance. So Randolph Price, God bless, wrote this book called The Abundance Book. I love that book, okay? And he refers to money, M-O-N-E-Y, as my own natural energy yield. Yeah, okay? So that's case in point. So I've heard a saying before, if money was the issue, there would be no issue. It's never money that stops you. It is something at a deeper level. And yes, they're saying salty. Some of us have salty ideas about stuff. We're bitter. We have chips on shoulders. All of that stuff, it makes for great fodder, to be honest, because it's laughable, because we erect those very structures. I don't know why they're showing me spaghetti and meatballs. Is someone actually eating spaghetti and meatballs? Yums. But it's like, yeah, just stop. Just kidding. I don't know how to end that sentence. I don't know. Right? So Spirit is saying clean up. We've been in cleanup time, and we know that. So Spirit has been teaching us. You see how this guy, God bless you're that, you and me. We're here, we're trying to do our stuff, get our things done. We're moving it with a certain mode of operation. And then boom, comes this hermit time, this period where we're being shown all these things about ourselves. And, it's like a life review without having to be unalive, which is great. Unalive. Had to use that word once, right? And so it's like looking at yourself for reals, and it's not easy. Now here we have this teacher also representing you, opening up a globe. So it's like here you are wearing your mode of operation, and here you are inspecting it. So you've been being asked to rid yourself of all of the bugaboos, so to speak, that are going on in the way that you operate. You were not seeing certain things about yourself. So we've been kind of doing some shadow work. And it's one of those shadow worky things where they just lock you in a basement. I don't know. Guys, is there a light switch? They just lock you in a basement. You're like, and then you touch something like, what is this? I cannot see, but it's gooey and it's gross and, will you smell it? Will you taste it? If you're going to smell it, turn to page 2. If you're going to taste it, turn to page 11. It's like, no, is this hell? It probably felt like that way. Okay. So I don't know what this blue card is underneath. Oh, there are 2 blue cards, but I'm looking at this baby blue one and I saw that one. So we'll take a look at both. Bully, dang. I just felt like saying, oh, will you look at that? And no wonder they switched it, because they're also showing the angel here. And this blue card has tints of purple and then tints of blue. Tinges. Let's see. And it's like this bully energy is just blowing these energies away. Why? We do know that we were talking about being blown away during aqua season, but what I'm seeing here is this is looking at how these energies within you, these deep shadow energies, particularly in the way you operate in the world, it's almost like thinking, so you know what it is? It's almost like, what it is, this dynamic is doing something a certain way for a long time, only to realize upon closer introspection that you were wrong in many ways, that there were many things that were wrong. Now, it doesn't mean that you're throwing out the baby with the bathwater. What it means, or that your things didn't have effect or didn't have positive, results. What it means is that you've grown more, and now you're able to look more within, and now that you are able to go deeper, now you're seeing what you had not seen before, and so you're just doing a deeper level of cleaning. That's all. But you see how it blew away the angel and the knight? So Spirit is saying during this time they were even having you kick off these things about yourself that you've been telling yourself, like, oh, I can do this, or I'm that, and I'm this, and I can rescue, and I can heal, and I can take things for people, and I can, whatever people, we were all saying to ourselves. And Spirit's like, okay, we know these are what you've been saying about yourself, but we're getting the receipts back from the audit from the past few months or weeks. And this is what we've found, and that's been very humbling. As I say humbling, we see these two coming together. That's you in your little basement with a little light and just really feeling into what's going on with me. And then it's so humbling, you've pulled your sweater over you some more, right? But look at what's right underneath vampire, God. So Spirit is saying this is spiritual house cleaning. So I have a feeling that a lot of you are still going through spiritual house cleaning, and it makes sense because we are literally still in, in a bit of a hibernation energy. But God and the rebel, this is what, so funny. If you're still here on the call, thank you, by the way. I was like, hello, anyone still here? They're like giving us a tour, you see. I see this God and the rebel thing. Challenges authority to affect social change. Reject spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Bink! Let's go to the shadow. Rejects legitimate authority out of anger. Rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. Let's be honest. Spirit has been showing us in the past few weeks, I guess, our moments. I suddenly saw all the guides and stuff turning to look at me like quietly, like, yes. All the moments of hubris. What is hubris, guides? Well, it's kind of that energy where you think you're better than God, where it's a little bit of arrogance and conceit, and it's out here, where we're, the guides are like, yeah, we were doing a, totally routine checkup on your energy. We found some things we want to talk to you about. And everyone, as we're moving higher as a collective, we're in our performance meeting right now. This is what it is, right? We found that there were parts of you that thought that they knew what was going on, but we had to let them know that they have to align themselves with something higher. And there are parts of you that need to make a decision about which direction to go in. That's what they were saying. It's so funny. Of course, they didn't use those words. They're just sending energy, and I'm like translating it, but interpreting and translating. But you see what I'm feeling here, and this is exactly what I was saying earlier. Accolades are being given because you have done really well. You raised yourself to meet the occasion, right? Look at the mystic coming out. So Spirit, let's say that you were, it's almost like, let's say that you were calling yourself a mystic, but you had hubris interlaced in there. Ego, we all have ego, right? Spirit was just like, oh, hey, you got this stuff going on. Let's help you take it out. Because it was coming between you and the word, you and the true vision, right? And so it's like, and now here you are. Many of you may have been able recently to get back in touch with the child. So you see, before you went into the basement or were placed into the basement as the hermit, and now here we have the child. We've encountered the inner child as the orphan. Let's look at the light. Independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. This is talking about transcending what it is that you think you see in your physical, and understanding that you're cared for. You're not alone, even as you may struggle to find support or companionship in the physical. Right? That's how the orphan is healed. The orphan feels alone in the entire universe. But when the orphan finds the inner love and makes those connections with spirit, the orphan realizes he or she's no longer alone. Let's look at the negative. Feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. Yes. So when you feel cut off from source, you're always going to be looking for you heard me say any energy, right? Any energy to connect to, because it's like floating. You're looking for some type of belonging. But what I'm seeing here is accolades are coming in because you found your inner child. A lot of you have found the part of you that has been crying out for such a long time. They're saying that there are going to be more gifts. This is one gift, finding the self. I'm seeing like 8. I see this 8 here. They're showing me 8. So 8 gifts or 8 more gifts. Yeah, 8 more gifts are going to be coming in, realizations. And they're saying for you, because some of you, I felt for a second, some of you who have families, like children and stuff, it's almost like you automatically went to like, oh, this is going to be, something's coming in that's going to help me with the kids, or the kids are going to get this, and it's about you. When you focus on you, as a whole, you're focusing on yourself as the sun, and your sun, S-U-N, is going to shine in a way that's going to give warmth and give blessings and just bestow whatever is good, health and well-being, onto those who are in your sphere. So if you can't light up with the light of God, and then what are we doing? So Spirit is calling your attention back to you as a little child, as a cute little son, all of this. All right, guys, anything else here? Interesting. I didn't expect yeah, they're so funny. They're like, who's leading the show? I was like, I don't know. You are. Yeah, let me out here with my expectations. My bad, guys. My bad. Looking up hubris again. I know some of you guys had to look that up, so stop lying. All right, let's continue. Thank you, Spirit. Sorry, with noise, guys. Hold on. Guys, I always call you guys guides, because you are guides. Obs. Okay, thank you very much. There we go. Healing. All right, let's see what's coming up, guys. They're like, all of that was coming up. That's what we were just talking about. Yes. Okay. Hold on, let me just check this. Oh my. Okay, I just had to pause for a quick second. Let's look into this one. This is a bit of a deep message coming through. I'm going to try and make sure I interpret it well. Okay. Recently, Spirit has been, yes, they're saying calling all angels. And we know this, guys. If you watched a February monthly reading, it literally was called calling all angels back to the heart. That's what February has been about. Issuing the call. You guys have been responding. And so what I'm seeing here, it's almost like you guys reached into this bag and pulled out a ring. Some of you may have actually gotten a ring, or like an actual ring, or a ring may have appeared to you in some way, or some type of thing to show commitment. I just heard contested commitment. For somebody here, maybe you had your commitment, you were committed, but it was contested, like your commitment was contested by someone else saying you're not really committed, or whatever is going on. These are all part of some tests is what I'm getting. Again, remember I told you guys the guides are there are certain tests that are going on. Now when I say test, let me define it the way that I'm feeling it. I'm using the word test, but this is the way the energy field. Yeah, the energy field. Yeah, see? But I was going to say this is the way the energy feels. The energy field is asking you, are you able to make it to this level? Hi, little spirit, hi, little soul, whatever. You say you want to, let's just throw something out there, be a time watcher. You know, maybe you want to be a time watcher. Is that anybody? And of course, you may not even know that you're asking this on some deeper level. I mean, on your conscious level. At your conscious level, you're just like, oh, I'm just watching this video with Jonelle, and yeah. But maybe you have a contract inside of you, and one of the things that you wanted to do is to step into a higher level of commitment with spirit and service, and you want to be a time watcher. And so maybe you ask that, and now is the time where spirit's like, okay, well, is this something you still want to do, and can you do it? You will always get the yes. The question is, can you vibrate at the level that is needed to take up that position, to take up that mantle, to handle the initiations that come with it? Have you shown that you have the ethics? Do you show that you have the merit? Do you show that you have the I don't know. Can you do it or not? And this is just something, these are tests you can't study for. It's in your energy. So many words want to come out. That sounded weird. I wanted to say it's in your, I don't know what I want to say, but I heard them say it's in your DNA, and I said it's in your energy, but then I wanted to say something else. It's in your genetic, okay, it's in your genetic makeup, it's in your energy, it's in your DNA. There are things here, right? But are you able to handle it? And I do feel that, see how there are little options of stones here, and you reach in, you pull the ring, and you're like, this is what I want. And then here you are, doing your thing, resting, but spirit is testing you. See all these little bubbles? They just look like these little stones. They're all around. Which are you going to vibe with? Your choices are going to reveal everything. Did you get into that argument with that person? Did you lower your standards? Did you do what you said you weren't going to do again? Did you rise to the occasion? Did you, what did you do? When you don't think that you're being watched, that's what Spirit is looking at. And again, it's not because anyone's a chosen one or this and that. Now, I believe, yes, there can be this concept of being chosen, but I really feel like that is a little bit of a sneaky energy, because you can choose to do things, or you can want to do things, but at the end of the day, you may not be selected to do those things if you don't have the energetic accords, if you can't meet the threshold for certain things, if you can't get to the initiation energy. Because if you can't even vibrate at the energetic level that's necessary to be here, you're here. But when you change and you're able to vibrate here, then you become a vibrational match to it, right? So that's all Spirit is like. If you can reach here, come get here. So in a sense, you've reached here, we'll take you, right? That's, I think, kind of what it is. And sure, maybe you're chosen in the sense like, oh, there are many people who've reached here, but Spirit's going to be like, we want you. And sure, maybe that's the case, maybe it's not. But I say just avoid getting into that kind of mentality, because that can be a very slippery slope into superiority, inferiority complex, right? And ego. So just try to nullify that. Like, wow, I want to do this. I'm going to do my best to do this. And I'm just going to do my best and watch my energy field, take care to listen to what Spirit is saying, spend time by myself to connect and all sorts of things, and just do my best. And just see how that goes. Now, I do see that in some cases, some of us have been missing the mark with certain things. That's part of this arena that you're trying to get into. But at the same time, again, they're saying accolades. They see 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3, 3. So somewhere else, you're being watched, what you do right now. Somewhere else, some type of body, whether it's the council, governing body, off planet, in another dimension, whatever, you're being watched and monitored very, very closely. And because I'm seeing that there's a stream of energy that's coming down to the earth, and it's kind of like we're sending this call, we're sending these visions to the people on earth. Who can match this vision? Who can hear us? Who can see us? Who can perceive of us? They don't even have to know it's coming from us or who we are, what this is. If their heart is in the right place and they have the discipline and they have the wherewithal to complete whatever these actions are, or to help out, or to whatever, or to respond, they're saying, then we see you. You see us, we see you. Okay? Focus, yeah. You see us, we see you. Well, they're always seeing us, but what good if we can't, we're good. Speaking of, there's also something to be said. See, wisdom? There's also something to be said for being able to step into your shadows, which are going to be coming up a lot. We know right now just a time, but also remember, we're in a water moon in Cancer, God bless. You're going to be moody, emotions are going to be happening. But Spirit is saying there's value in doing that, because when you do that, you're able to feel the feelings, and then you're able to make a choice. Do I want to feel this way again? Do I want to keep this up? If you've been feeling this same way, bitterness, anger, rage, jealousy, all that, for decades, you still want to be on that level? Like, where are we at? So you always have choice. When you feel something, if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel good, you have a choice. And when you start to work on that, that's when you start to clear up your field. You see this fragmentation? Wait, can you guys see that? No, you cannot. You cannot. Bing. See this fragmentation here? Right on top of the clarity card, by the way. This fragmentation will have you seeing what isn't there. Let's say this is the reality of what it is, what's going on here. And then you see we have this beautiful star. But down here, when you're so fragmented, look at what the star becomes. Boink, boink. Look at all these little dots. Doot, doot, doot. It becomes that. Look at all the lines. It becomes that. And the only thing that's kind of somewhat similar is that sandy color. What are we doing? And whose feet are those? Is that even real? So you see, that's showcasing the belief in other. It's all one, right? But in here, in your fragmentation, you see another. It's one, and then there's two. And so Spirit is saying, in the absence of wholeness and clarity, you're going to see what isn't there. And yes, it may be a little bit hard to grasp that at this level, especially for those of us who can see more than maybe someone who's closed off, right? But still, we're not really seeing much, because look at where we are. We're sitting down next to everybody else. So we're doing our best to help each other. And Spirit is saying the way that you improve your sight and your awareness is through focus. If you work with Spirit, and look, they're showing this again. Ding! Spirit's like, let's give you a tour. change with that butterfly. She's like, hold on to the butterfly. Boop. And when you hold on to change, in other words, when you keep yourself open to improvement, personal improvement, deep diving, processing what's coming up, and not all the time, just giving yourself breaks too, but making that be a goal, your healing be a goal, and you grabbing on to that, by the time you get onto that butterfly, which represents this healing and transformational readiness, you hold on, you realize, oh my God, it's a golden arrow. And you're just holding on to spirit as it guides you through the eye of the needle. That's it. Okay? And what comes through? Your wisdom. So anyway, I don't want to make this too long. I'm just going to trust that whatever came through here is what Spirit wanted to bring through here. But looking at your collective energies as this moon transits the sign of Cancer and gives you the feels and God knows whatever else comes up for you. I'm just seeing smoking for a second for somebody here. I want you to know that Spirit is applauding the work that you've been doing. You've been doing a lot of work. Now you may be feeling like, I didn't do anything, Jay, but I sure have been tired and I sure have been feeling a lot of confusion and I don't know what's going on. Yeah, those are the physical hallmarks of work being done. At another level, 11 minutes, 22 seconds. Thank you, Spirit. So great job. So if I may offer some suggestions, keep going. Keep focusing on setting the intention to be of right action, right speech, right mind. Now, of course, we're down here trying to understand what quote unquote right means, but that's part of the homework. And dare I say it, part of the fun, I guess. The joy, if you like exploring, you're in the ultimate explorer-verse right now. And so Spirit is encouraging you to continue to explore and to co-create with Spirit. But I do want to remind you that there are assessments at foot and they have been watching. They're trying to act like they haven't, but they did plainly tell us that they are. And the reason why is not to punish or not to this or that or anything. It's to assist in showing you where you could use more healing. It's also to consider you for certain projects, right? Yeah, we do projects if you're, working and you're in service to others. Please remember that you're a multidimensional being. So maybe you in the physical, you may be like, oh, I'm so unemployed, or oh, I keep wanting to write this book and I'm still not writing it, or just whatever. But when I look at a higher level of you, that person is gainfully and passionately employed, has already written this book, is already collaborating with others and working across the world. And you're like, what? With who? And I don't know. I don't even know any of this, Jay. Yeah, but you don't, it's okay. Just do your best at the level that you are to get to know yourself. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to go and God bless you. And I don't know what portally things are coming up, but I'm definitely seeing some portal energy here, 13 minutes, 13 seconds. So keep an eye out for any portally energies. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. God bless you guys. If you'd like to work with me more personally, you know exactly where to find me. Keep an eye out for the astro reels. Me, and the guides. We'll be releasing some, and I believe we're going to start with Capricorn, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, bye. Mwah. Oh, and don't forget to press like or the heart button if you enjoyed it. Bye.